When I think of ministries in general, there are three commonly criticized types of ministries. People who operate in apostolic office, women preachers, and people who perform deliverances, which every ministry should be doing deliverance, but you do all three. I've watched you from afar, and we've connected here and there. I think on social media, a message here or there. There was a season where you really kind of came onto the scene. I remember me and my team were watching this. I said, this is unique. This is different. I see you in the park. You're praying for people. They're getting demons cast out of them. And then there was just these heavy attacks coming against you. And I remember, you can ask my team, I'm watching, Ruben's a witness to this. I'm watching this. I'm watching fellow Christians do this, preachers. And I told my team, I said, that's jealousy. I said, that's not the Lord. A lot of that is coming from jealousy. And I remember I told my team, I said, let's contact their ministry. I want to see how we can. And the Lord said, no, I'm going to handle this myself. I said, okay, well, we'll leave it be. But I remember watching that and watching you go through this. And I hope you don't mind me saying so, but I've watched as the primary voices that came out against you have all faded. I don't even know if they do social media anymore. And there's been this explosive growth in the ministry that God gave you, where we're seeing now, and every time I see a clip, and Ruben's sitting there, he's smirking because he knows, I go, look, I said, that's vindication right there, where you can see the fruitfulness now of the ministry that the Lord has entrusted to you. But talk to us about that season, if you don't mind, where I can imagine that.
First of all, I have to say that I could only have gotten through that season. That was the hardest season of my life. I'll never forget it. Like when you said, it was like the trendy thing to do was to criticize me. And that was the hardest thing I've ever been through in my entire life. I received a prophecy over my life. And so I knew my calling. I knew where I was going. So it wasn't like a huge surprise when God started moving and miracles started taking place. I had been prepared for years. I knew that this was going to take place, attacks, persecution, but I didn't know how hard it was going to be, how bad it was going to be, how brothers and sisters in Christ can be. I didn't know, but so much the reason why I made it through that season was because of how God prepared me in the wilderness before it. I was able to get through by keeping my eyes focused on Jesus, knowing that there is a cost to the anointing. God's called me to something huge and I should expect there to be persecution. I would renew my mind and be in the spirit and know God's allowing this for my good. He's going to refine me through this. He will prove himself and I don't need to worry. I don't need to defend myself. One thing that God encouraged me in that season was that I got to be an example of how to love your enemies and bless those who persecute you. And God really spoke to me like, many people have not seen an example of this. So that encouraged me and strengthened me that God's going to use this for good. What the devil meant for evil, God's going to use this for good.
And I believe that.